Hello, welcome back to my series of videos about the dark eye core rules. This video will be about conditions. Conditions is my translation of it again. I don't know what they call it in the rules. I'm too lazy to look it up. I admit I'm more concerned with getting out these videos quickly. So conditions. What is conditions? There are different conditions you can have, and the mechanics are pretty much always the same. Conditions come in levels from 1 to 4. 4 usually means you're like completely out of play, you can't act no more. For example, one condition is encumbrance. And when you have encumbrance level 4, you simply cannot move. You're just carrying too heavy weight, or you're carrying something that is too big to really let you act in a sensible way. For example, another condition could be fear, or it could be paralyzes, or something. We go through them and I explain them before I start rambling here. The first condition is encumbrance. I think encumbrance will be the translation. That was the translation in the Old English rules. German is Belastung. It basically means you are carrying something very heavy. And this will give you a modifier. The modifiers, the conditions come in levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and the first 3 levels will always give you a modifier -1, -2, -3 on skill tests, on attribute tests. It's always the same. You only have to keep in mind, does the modifier make sense in that situation? As I said, if you're like paralyzed, everything concerning movement will be modified by this modifier. But your thinking, everything with thinking will not be modified by the paralyzes modifier. And what exactly is modified is explained here. So you don't have to judge yourself. You can read what is exactly modified by this modifier in that condition, but it's really like easy to come up or to remember it, because it simply makes sense. When you've read it once, you can easily remember it because it just makes sense. Paralyzes movement is impaired, and in the end the game master has the last word anyway, so it's not that difficult for most of the conditions to remember what they do affect. And encumbrance is basically your movement, and there are even rules that say this talent is modified by encumbrance, and you get modifiers for encumbrance on attack, parry, speed, and so on and so on. Next condition is toy, that is dazed or something. I don't know what the best translation. For example, when you get hit against the head, or you're under effect of drugs or something, you can't think straight, which will affect pretty everything you do, because you can't even control your body. You're just dazed, and you get a modifier based on everything, -2, -1, -2, or -3, or you're completely out. Next condition is entrückt. That is kind of special, and I have no clue how to translate it. It is like you're in a trance. It happens to priests when they cast spells and use the divine energy they're given, the karma energy. It will get them in a state of trance. In this state of trance, it is a bit like it's a bit like dazed, but it is closely connected to the god. So you get modifiers on everything that is not in the ideal of your god. For example, the god of right. If you're a priest of the god of justice and you're doing something like deception or something, the entrückt, the trance, will give you a modifier on that. But on the other hand, if you're doing something in the ideal of the god, then the trance state will give you a bonus on doing this. That's a very special condition. Next condition is fear. This will basically affect everything you do. Plus, you might behave differently, because when you're in fear of something, you won't get near something. Yeah, that is the decision your game master has to have. You might run away. Plus, you get modifiers on basically everything you do as long as you are in fear. Next is paralyzes. I think that word exists in English. It is your last, like someone's trying to turn you in stone or something, and you get modifiers on basically everything that has to do with movement or language, and you can no longer really run very fast and so on. And if you're completely paralyzed, you're basically turned into stone or just simply can't move. You may still be able to think, and you may even be able to see everything around you, even when you're turned into stone. That depends more on what turned you into stone. There are some spells that say the person is completely paralyzed but can still hear and see everything. Next condition, very important, is pain. Pain is, you get automatically pain when you get hurt in combat. When you get damage, you at certain points get pain. That happens automatically. And you simply get, on all the tests you make, a modifier of -2, -1, -2, -3, and are at 4 you're completely incapable of acting. But I think because it says here you are unable to act, or you get -4 on everything. I think there are special abilities, especially for fighters. I mean, everybody can take these special abilities, but they're typical for fighters, that let you act even when you are in pain. So under these circumstances, you could still act when you have pain level 4, but you would get -4 on everything you do. Last is Verwirrung. Oh, I have to look this up. What is Verwirrung? Confusion. You're confused. Yeah, okay, I knew this word. Just didn't remember it. Yeah, you're confused. And it is like you get -1, -2, -3 on everything. And at -3 you might already get certain spells, certain brain activity, thinking about something, knowledge talents maybe already be impossible to do for you at level 3. Otherwise, at level 4 you're completely incapable of acting. So the last part here is status. I don't know what's a good translation, a state you're in or something. It is basically this can be closely connected to the conditions, because it says you're paralyzed, you are unconscious, you are blinded, you are in the blood rage, you are burning, you are eingeengt. There's not enough room for you to move. You are fixed to a certain point. You are incapable of acting. You are sick. You are lying. You are... I know this word. I have to look it up. You are... Yeah, you can't speak, basically. You can feel. You are surprised. You are invisible. And you are poisoned. These are different states you are in, and they all have... You can see there's not always really a lot explained. Sometimes, for example, if you're poisoned, it depends on what poison you have. And all these states are somehow explained here. They don't have really detailed rules attached to them. They are also, as you can see, you're fixed fixated, you can't move some way, you're bound or something. It doesn't have a lot of rules, but they give examples here what to do. So this is the end of the chapter about the core mechanics. I have explained now everything except for these. I don't want to go through all these states that are there and explain them. If you have any other questions about any other topic, please feel free to ask. If you think I explained something wrong because you know the rules already, then please correct me, send me a message, bring it to my attention. I will see how I can correct it. Else, thank you for your attention. Next chapter will be about hero creation. And for now, I say goodbye until the next video.